It's the NFL on EA Sports. And we'll see Tremaine Edmonds, who had a strong showing last week with an 8-tackle game. It's the Saints and the Bengals, and it's all just ahead on Madden NFL 23.
The first open back in 1975. There's a look in. Set to go now in Week 6 of the NFL season, and we are underway on EA Sports. On the return, it's Tristan Ebner from his end zone. And he'll be out of bounds across the 25. Here come the Bengals now to take over. Leading them out, someone who has overcome plenty of adversity to forge a 12-year career. Former Virginia Tech Hokie, it's A-Arod Taylor.
And what a performance in his last game. Couple of touchdown passes, that was positive.
But more than 2 interceptions.
Yeah, that's not what he's looking for. What did Vince Lombardi say, though? Winning isn't everything.
It's the only thing.
And that's what he hangs his hat on after last week's game.
They run with a big man in his 7th season. It's Derrick Henry. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. Henry again on 2nd down. 4 yards on the pickup there as they get it back to a more manageable 3rd and 7. So, Charles, you look at this offense, so what a start to the season. 5 wins without a loss. When do you think that you start believing that maybe you're in the midst of something special?
Well, you and I both know every head coach never wants that thought to creep into a locker room. But the truth of the matter is, not quite at this time, because if we look at the Steelers in 2020, they're a great example. Remember, they started 11-0, then lost 5 of 6 and went out in the first round. But I think if you get toward mid-November, the Thanksgiving time frame, and you're still doing this, that's when things start to get real for a ball club.
On 2nd down, here's Henry. And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line. The numbers on the ground for Henry last week. Very productive. 3 touchdowns, 2 of them on the ground, 1 through the air.
And it will always be a compliment to say that a guy's got a nose for the end zone, and he sure had it last week.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Again, it's Henry. And he'll power ahead, but only for about 3 yards. 2nd down coming up. 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Here's Taylor. Open man is Raymond. He's got it. And he's going to be marked down just outside the 10.
I think that's a big pickup for a 1st down, because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a 1st down, executed it to perfection. Meanwhile, a throw by Taylor is incomplete.
This is where good coaching and execution come into play, because down this close, you absolutely don't want to turn it over. Good job keeping that in mind as he escaped, bought time, and decided throwing it away was his best option.
To the right side and complete to Thomas. Touchdown, Bengals. Ian Thomas, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Bengals will jump on top with the game's first score here this afternoon. Justin Tucker for the extra point. And he's got it to make it 7-0 Bengals. A good drive that time as they go 9 plays in all. And it ends with a Bengals score. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And this will not be returned. It'll come out to the 25. And here come the Saints for their opening drive. Bringing him out is the future Hall of Famer, now in his 18th NFL season, Aaron Rodgers.
And no excitement unless you're on the defensive team of last week in his numbers, because the only excitement he really generated was the 1 interception he threw.
Yeah, no touchdown passes.
Yeah, and his team wasn't real thrilled about that. And they lost the game. So I know this week has been tough on him because he's been working hard. Fundamentals, footwork, finding the right targets, and bottom line, how do they get a win?
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12. Here's Rodgers to throw. The throw for Galladay is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Quan Williams. And the Bengals are going to take possession of the football.
Oh, timing is everything on a route like this. He tried to drive that football into a tight spot. And if you're a little early or a little late, chances are there's going to be someone there. And sure enough, this one's going the other way.
Taylor's throw pulled in by Hopkins. And they're going to get this down inside the 20.
Well, as a coach, you absolutely love seeing your offense find their rhythm early, and that's exactly what we've seen so far. They had a touchdown on their opening drive, and now they connect here for another nice gain for a first down. This offense is moving the ball well, exactly as he drew it up in front.
And that is caught. He's got it for a Bengal touchdown. Sky Moore from 19 yards away. And the Bengals are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. They've got to be thrilled on the road right now. Touchdown, turnover, touchdown, and quickly trying to make it 14-0.
Yeah, and mentioned it already. On the road, to be able to go into someone else's house and establish a start like that, obviously your confidence rises in a big way, and you're putting some doubt in their minds.
Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and it's now 14-0.
Justin Tucker set to kick off.
Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And this will not be brought out. It's a touchback. New Orleans Saints, they get ready to set up shop for their second drive. Charles, it's kind of gut check time. Look, I know it's early, first quarter, just their second drive of the game, but they've already thrown the interception, given up the score. You're down double digits. They got to figure out something, and pretty quickly here.
No doubt about it. And when we look at that sideline, I'm sure you're observing the same thing I am. I don't like the body language at all. They look like they're in a state of stunned disbelief. So to me, we always talk about someone stepping up and making a big play. I think it would behoove them if multiple guys step up and make big plays right now. They need something positive to happen, and they need for it to happen now.
Well, now after all of this, hang on here because he appears to be shaken up. So as the medical staff takes a look, we'll step aside. First down, they run again. Here's Montgomery. He'll get this up to about the 44.
Holding offense.
You need your wide receivers as blockers. Sometimes they get a hold.
The big runs are often a result of what they do on the perimeter. In this case, got caught holding, and this one will come back.
A quick throw there going to be batted away and incomplete. 2nd and 16. Rodgers handing to Montgomery. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. And a nice little gain. They'll be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the first down. Throwing is Rodgers on 3rd down. And finding the tight end Hooper. Call it a gain of 3 on the play. And that's going to bring up a 4th down. Here comes the Saints punter now as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. Oh, this is off the side of his foot. And no return possible here as they angle this one out of bounds. So here are the Bengals set to take over. Remember, they're riding that 5-game winning streak, and right now in the driver's seat in this ball game as well. They'll start on the ground. It's Derrick Henry. No gain on the play there. 2nd down. $14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Start of the second quarter, and it's the Bengals in control of the football. As they've got it with a 2nd and 10. They'll run it again with Henry. And he'll take this to the 32, a gain of about 3.
Holding, offense.
All right, so they got that one, Charles, against the center.
And let's remember how difficult it is for the center, because remember, he's got to snap the ball to put the play in motion, and sometimes you got that big guy on your nose. You got sometimes where he's coming at you at an angle. It's a difficult job for him to snap the ball and then execute his block.
That's a gain of 11. Would have been a first down if not for that penalty moments ago. On third down, Henry. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. A solid run by Derrick Henry, and here's another 1st and 10. And they'll keep leaning on the running game, back to the ground. And he's going to take this across the 50 and into Saints territory. 8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's 2nd and a couple. On the slant, DeAndre Hopkins. And the tackle going to be made at the 38. The Bengals hit a perfect 5-0 here to begin the campaign. And they've certainly found their groove of late. Winners of 5 in a row.
And this team is absolutely playing their best football right now. This is the best that we've seen them play in a long time, partner. Sky's the limit as far as they're concerned. Their confidence really soaring.
On 1st and 10, it's Taylor. Looking for McLaurin, and he's got him. And he'll go out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. That one goes for 24 yards. From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10. Back to the ground now. It's Henry. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down. A lot to praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
It's a 3-yard pickup, and that sets up 1st and goal. Henry trying to get to the goal line, but he's going to be stopped just short at the 1. It's a gain of a yard, and it'll set up 2nd and goal.
You get down in this area of the field, you know you're going to get a heavy dose of number 22. They stopped him for a short game there, but can they do it a couple more times?
And he takes it into the end zone. Touchdown, Bengals. Tyrod Taylor with his 3rd touchdown so far, number 13 now on the year. And the Bengals take a 3-touchdown lead. So, Charles, that's 3 touchdowns on 3 drives, and it's just been an offensive barrage so far.
Great word, partner, using barrage right there. I'm going to add another word if you don't mind. How about perfection? No surprise that they're leading right now. Absolute dominance throughout this ball game, and no signs of slowing down.
Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. No run back here, down to a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. Back out onto the field now comes the New Orleans offense. Well, CD, you kind of feel like they're in a bit of a danger zone right here, because now you're down 3 scores, and I know we're in the first half, but the way this offense hasn't been able to generate anything, you feel like they probably need to get something going on this drive, right?
Yeah, and sometimes I overuse that this is an important possession. But I think this has to be the possession where they come up with an answer, because only a few teams in league history have ever come back from a 4-score deficit. And if they don't score here, that's what they could be facing the next time they get the ball.
Roughing the passer, defense.
Well, Charles, sometimes we talk about the lengths officials sometimes go to protect star quarterbacks, but that was tough to argue against.
Yeah, and I'm sure that everyone's going to...
Montgomery hit, and the ball is loose. And they have possession, and they have it at the 38-yard line. And a little careless there, Charles, on that carry.
And it's not just having two...
And now before the ball changes hands, they're going to take a look at this just to make sure that they have it right.
The previous play is under review.
Now the question, was the knee in fact down before this ball comes loose? And is the video convincing enough to overturn it?
A lot of factors here. Remember, you also need clear possession of the football afterwards. This is a tough one to overturn.
So that one overturned. They say the knee was down, and that will not be ruled a fumble. On second down, Montgomery. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. A nickel look now for the Bengals as they try to stop him here on third down. From midfield, here's Rodgers. He'll get this underneath to Montgomery. And he is going to have a Saints first down as that'll be a pickup of about 5 as they convert on 3rd and inches. And he's left with no option here but to throw it away. So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. To throw, it's Rodgers. This one swung out to Montgomery. And this winds up a gain of 4 to the 41. 7th play of the drive upcoming here on 3rd and 6. Rodgers to throw once more. And Jones has it over the middle. And he'll be brought down at the 27. The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. On first down, Rodgers. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. Now another timeout called for by the offense as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. Into the red zone, it's Rodgers. This one hauled in. Again, it's Hooper. And they're going to be set up now with the ball at the 13-yard line. Throwing again on second down. Rodgers. And he's got him. It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. Zay Jones, his first touchdown on the year. And the Saints are on the board here in the final minute of the first half. The way this one was going, you just got the sense they needed something before half. They've at least got something on the board now. Still trailing, but a good sign.
That takes me back to our preseason tour of NFL camps. You remember we talked with that one coach who said his emphasis this year was scoring in the last 2 minutes of a half, heading into the locker room. This hits it right there. Take that momentum, take that good feeling, and take it to the locker room, regroup, and start over. They got it here.
They did indeed. A lot of football, full half to be played. Now after the touchdown, it's Zerline. He'll kick it away. Fields it right around the goal line. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. And we spotlight Derrick Henry now. And we check the rushing numbers so far here into Week 6, and the returns have been really good. Now, you're starting to hit that stride middle of the season toward the end. They're certainly hoping they can keep up this production.
They are, because one of the adages in the NFL is that defense travels and defense endures even in bad weather, right? You know what else does? A good running game. And people want that, especially as you head down the stretch. You may play outdoors in some nasty stuff. You're trying to get to the playoffs. This is the time to get it going. And individually, I don't think you should just think about 1,000 yards either. The bar has to be set higher with this beginning.
This will be caught downfield by Moore. And he'll be out just a yard or two shy of the 30. It's another first down on what will be a gain of 21 yards. Taylor. Throw caught by Raymond. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. Looking to throw again on second down. Taylor going for it all. And, oh, it's incomplete. Oh, that would have been 6 points, but somehow he couldn't rein it in. Tucker's kick is good, and that will do it for this first half. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we'll get you over to Orlando, where standing by is Jonathan Coachman. He has our EA Sports halftime report.
All right, Brandon, thanks. A few teams starting to rise to the top as it's time to take you around the NFL here in Week 6. We'll begin our tour up at First Energy Stadium in Cleveland, and it's the Browns who are out on top. Van Jefferson up over 100 yards receiving with 2 touchdown grabs. From there, we'll make the trip down to Indianapolis to check on the Colts at home at Lucas Oil Stadium. And that one's gone to halftime with the visiting Jags out in front. Devin Singletary, a force in that first half with 2 touchdown runs. Lastly, let's get you to MetLife Stadium to see what's happening with the Giants at home in East Rutherford. And they lead the visiting Baltimore Ravens at halftime. Christian McCaffrey, a touchdown run in that first half. Now time for a check of the next-gen stats in the first half for the Bengals. And there were a few factors as to why they built this good size advantage, but the rushing numbers were not all that amazing. We'll see if they can pick it up in the second half. Meanwhile, for the Saints, they too didn't do a whole lot in terms of rushing efficiency in that first half, as you can tell by the numbers there. Both teams going through their final halftime adjustments. We're about ready to get back to football. And to bring you the second half from the Superdome, let's go back to Brandon and Charles.
Okay, Coach, thanks as always to you and the gang in Orlando as we welcome everyone back in for quarter number 3. The Saints going to go on offense first, and they trail here as we begin quarter number 3. And this will not be returned, so the second half begins with a touchback. Out come the Saints now. They'll go on offense first here to begin the third quarter. And you have to think, Charles, down 3 scores already. They need to play an almost perfect second half to have a solid chance.
And that absolutely starts with finding some way to put together a touchdown drive here. They need to be smart, fast, efficient, get the ball into the end zone, and do it again multiple times in order to have a chance to win this game.
Danico Autry is in on the stop. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Now Rodgers. It's caught by Mike Evans. That his first catch so far. They've held him under wraps, but he's got a first down there.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before you get a good head of steam going.
Throwing on first down is Rodgers. That's caught by Montgomery. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. From the 39-yard line, here comes 2nd down and 6. Now Rodgers. And his throw here's incomplete.
And there's another stop. One of the league's best defenses is certainly bringing it again this week.
From the gun on 3rd down, Rodgers. He's got Hooper on the short connection. 2 yards on the pickup there. And that'll bring up 4th down.
Hey, let's face it, you can put any Halloween costume on him. You're not going to be able to disguise him because for a tight end of his size, difficult to sneak him anywhere, but that's what they tried to do. Lined up on his right, tried to work his way back to his left, but just a minimal gain as the defense was able to react quickly.
Only 29 yards on the punt there. Definitely not his best. And the Bengals will take over here 1st and 10. So here are the Bengals now as they get their first possession of this second half. And they'll come out with a 3 tight end look on the first play of the drive. They begin with Henry. And he'll fight forward on the straight-ahead running for just a couple of yards. 2nd down. Now a timeout here, at least for the moment. Looks like one of the Saints is injured, shaken up on that last play. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Now it's Taylor. Throw left side complete. That's Hopkins. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 10 yards there on a Bengal first. A first down carry for Henry. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. Second down coming up.
And that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
Second down, they go again with Henry. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. 60 yards rushing for him now as he's carried it 13 times. So in Saints territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. Taylor will throw. And oh, that nearly their first pick of the game, but it falls down to the ground incomplete. Glad to be in the great city of New Orleans, rolling along here in the third quarter. 2nd and 10. Henry up the middle, and he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3.
They're in a pretty good spot right now with a convincing lead. I think this is where they put on the boxing gloves, start to try and pound them into submission.
And the offensive line, they've controlled this game. I don't see why that trend would change now. Inside handoff, Henry. It's a Bengal first down, a pickup of 11.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time and making it work.
Henry will get it. He's been busy today. Down at the 25.
Well, at the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back to huddle and feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run, but the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves.
And he'll be tackled at the 23 after a gain of 3. Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. Taylor now to throw on 3rd down. The connection made. It's Graham. And he's brought down inside the 20 at the 18-yard line.
At first glance, I thought he just used his size in order to win the route, but he also had a little subtle move in there as well. Made the defender think he was going one direction and was able to track the ball in another.
This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. Taylor, and it's caught. And the Bengals are going to have a 1st and goal coming up as the tackle made at the 3-yard line. And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the third quarter has come to a close. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. Back now here live in New Orleans. It's the Bengals in possession of the football and in possession of the lead as well as we start the 4th. They'll try and run for it with Henry. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on 1st down.
Well, if this defense has any hopes of getting back into this game, they've got to start right here and keep these guys out of the end zone. That's a good step 1 on that play.
Henry again. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Bengal TD. Derrick Henry, his 8th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Bengals add on to their lead, and it's looking like that win streak is going to extend another week. On that sideline, they're saying that was more like it. The first down run went backwards, that time into the end zone.
And I like their little bit of courage in play calling, too. Because after an unsuccessful run, especially one where you lose yardage, you oftentimes go right to throwing the football. They came right back with a running play, and it paid off handsomely.
Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and they'll take over at the 25. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. Facing a big fourth-quarter deficit here, things not looking good. You know, this offense, though, they've been in the top half of the NFL so far this season, but in this one, well, their defense is really struggling.
He'll leave it for Montgomery complete. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30. Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. Throwing now is Rodgers. Complete to Jones. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. The catch and run there, good for 16 and a first. Now it's Rodgers. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked down and incomplete.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they've forced in this runaway contest.
Meanwhile, Rodgers' throw into the hands of Hooper. And he'll be brought down inside the 40-yard line.
So they'll come up in Bengals territory now with a 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. Here's Rodgers. They'll set up the screen to Montgomery. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. He was unable to shake free there, and they'll cover him for a loss of a yard. Rodgers again now. And this is caught by Evans. And he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5. And this offense on 3rd down today, they've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 7. Throwing is Rodgers.
He'll find its tight end. It's Adam Troutman. And he is going to have a Saints 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
On 1st and 10, here's Rodgers. They'll find a man over the middle. It's Galladay.
And they're going to get this down inside the 15. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line.
Rodgers hands to Montgomery. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8. 2nd and 2.
Ball at the 6 here as they work with a 2nd and 2.
Again, they'll go ground with Montgomery.
And he will get enough for a 1st down, and that will lead us to the 2-minute warning.
Give him 3 yards and a fresh set of downs. To throw, it's Rodgers. And he's got it. Touchdown, Saints.
Zay Jones
with his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon.
And the Saints are able to cut into that deficit.
Zerline good with a PAT. And that'll cut the lead down to 18. So still lots of work left to do, but here comes the onside kick. Oh, the Saints recovered it. New Orleans football. Great job by the kick team there to get the football, but also don't forget about the man that started it, the lonesome kicker himself.
I love that you brought him into it because he doesn't get nearly the attention he deserves. Oftentimes, it's only when it's negative. In this case, he created a positive play for his team.
They're going to need to get up and set in a hurry. To throw again on 2nd down, Rodgers. And this one is incomplete.
That's coverage you'd expect to see in a tie game late. Not in a lopsided game like this. They are not letting up.
To throw is Rodgers. He's going to let it fly. And this is caught. Touchdown, Saints. Mike Evans, 51 yards.
And the Saints have got it back to a 2-score game here in the 4th.
You've got to understand situational football because they're playing with the lead here late in the ball game. So the back defender has got to be as deep as the deepest receiver. Keep everything in front of you, rally up and make the play.
Yeah, you would think they had the 3-score lead. Now it's down to 2, but 3-score lead here late, that they wouldn't give up a big pass play like that, but they did. Zerline connects on the extra point, and that'll make this now an 11-point deficit. So 2 scores down, time definitely not an ally, but here comes the onside kick. And this is going to be snuffed out. The Bengals recover.
They knew they needed a miracle. They had to have that onside kick. They didn't get it.
Well, as we knew, even before they put the toe to the leather on that one, their chances of getting that done, slim and none. And I do believe we saw Slim just leave the door, didn't we?
We did indeed. I think we're down to none. The throw right side is complete here on the first play of the drive. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. So here's a 1st and 10 now down inside the 20. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And he'll get this down only to the 18.
Holding. Offense.
So they cite the right guard this time with a holding penalty.
And so many different assignments you could have at that position, and sometimes you might just be a step too late and have to grab and hold on.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. After the penalty, it's Henry. Stopped at the 24-yard line after a gain of 5. The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. A 20th carry now for Derrick Henry. And he will take it on in for a Bengals touchdown. Derrick Henry. He has career touchdown number 78, tying in with both Eddie George and Frank Gifford on the all-time list. And the Bengals have pretty well put it away here in the 4th quarter. Tucker now to add the point after. And the lead is up to 18 now. Scoring summary, 3-play drive. And Derrick Henry able to finish it off with a touchdown run.
Justin Tucker set to kick off.
Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And there will not be a return here. It's a touchback, and it'll come out to the 25-yard line. The New Orleans offense set to take over. Well, I think that the folks here had hoped that maybe this home atmosphere would carry their guys to a surprise victory, but it does not appear that that's going to be the case. There's too much to handle on the other side in this one. Here's a pass swung out left to his running back. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30. Now they got to get to the line quickly. Throwing again on 2nd down. Rodgers. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Now we'll get a quick timeout called by New Orleans, number 2. As they'll stop it with a little over 30 ticks to go in the football game. Those are the kinds of plays right there that show you why he's the number 3 man in the NFL in terms of receiving yards.
Also tells you there's a full combination of what he's got going in his game. You name it, from route running to catching the football. That's why he's able to produce those types of numbers.
Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. So 2nd down, still 10 yards to go. Ball on the 43. And again, it's Rodgers. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete. At this point, down big, you'd have to imagine this defense are just going to sit back, blanket the field as best they can.
Yeah, this is actually the easy part of the game for them because, just as you noted, they can sit back, keep everything in front of them. But they blanketed the field the entire game using a variety of coverages.
Now the offense will burn their 3rd and final timeout as the clock will stop with 18 seconds remaining. Rodgers now on 1st down. Going right back to Galladay. And he's going to be taken down at about the 33. And we will get a timeout with 2 ticks left. 2nd down and 3. One final try now for Rodgers. And that will be incomplete. They were going for a consolation TD, but it was not to be. And time has run out now on this game. A higher scoring game, Charles, than we typically see in the National Football League, but fun to watch these offenses. They were really clicking. It seemed like everything that they dialed up worked.
Yeah, it certainly was fun to watch from our perspective. How'd you like to be those defensive coaches, though? That wasn't a blast for them at all. And let's face it, they all game plan, they all scout, they all think they're prepared. But executing and stopping teams, that's another matter entirely.
So for the Bengals, they remain as hot as anyone, 6-0 now through the first month and a half. And they'll head back home next week to take on the Atlanta Falcons. Meanwhile, for the Saints, the losses are piling up as they drop to 1-5 now. And they'll try to rebound next week as they head to Glendale to take on the Cardinals.